Go ahead.
So continuing with the subject of advice, I've gotten a lot of advice from my sister because she had her first baby 3.5 years ago. So she was able to give me a lot of the practical day-to-day kind of, here's how to do this, here's how to handle this kind of stuff. So that's been good. But mostly what has really impacted me was just the encouragement. My parents, I've been really blessed with good parents. So was Brad, and that's been the best thing. My parents have been really encouraging. Just a lot of people don't really talk about how when you become new parents, yeah, it's great, but you're also overwhelmed and stressed out and tired, and you feel like you're not doing things right or you're not good enough. And people don't always talk about that part. So it's been really good to hear from my parents, maybe like that they felt the same way. They said, we brought you girls home and we were stressed out and overwhelmed and thought we're not doing a good job. And but they're great parents. So it just helped me to know that everybody feels that way, and those feelings will go away. So let me see what's the, he also wanted to ask when we started showing, and I actually don't remember. Do you remember when I started showing?
Probably, showing a little bit around probably week 13 or 14, but I wouldn't say you were like noticeable. I think when you knew you were for sure noticeable was when we were at Sam's and that woman was like, "Oh, you're expecting." Yeah. So that's the time
I forgot about that.
And I can't remember. That was like was it November? So I don't know what week that was. I think it was week 20 or something like that.
We were at Sam's Club and this woman was giving out samples of cookies or brownies or something. And she handed me 2 of them because she said something like, "Oh, you need one and your baby needs one." And I was like, I just thank her and take it. And I go over and I'm like, "Brad, people can tell I'm pregnant now. It's exciting," because you're so excited about being pregnant and you kind of like want people to know. So it was really cool to just be like, "Oh my goodness, people can tell."
Because prior to that, we went to Kings Island, I remember, and you were checking out something about babies and you asked a woman about it, and she said that, well, you're not obviously pregnant yet, or something like that.
Yeah, she said something like, I wanted to use like a pregnant bathroom or whatever, or not pregnant bathroom, but they have a bathroom for like mothers of small children.
That's what it was.
And we were just nearby it and I really had to go. So I was going to use it and I asked if I could use it. And she said something like, "Oh, it's only for mothers." And I was like, "Oh, well, I'm pregnant. Does that count?" Because I really had to go. Because when you're pregnant, you have to go all the time. So she was like, "Oh yeah, if you're pregnant, you can come in and use it." So she said, I actually couldn't tell yet. And I think I was 4 months at that point. So or maybe not quite 4 months.
Yeah.
Maybe I was like a week away from 4 months.
Yeah, you were close, but
I felt like I showed. I felt like very big and obvious, but it wasn't obvious to other people yet.
No.
So yeah, then later when we went to Sam's Club and it was like a few weeks later, it was like, "Oh my goodness, it's obvious now. People can tell."
Yeah.
So, he also wanted to ask, this is a question a little bit different path than what we've been talking about. When you were a kid, and I can start if you don't know a story yet, but when you were a kid, what is the dumbest thing that you ever did? And I actually have one right away. So if you want, I can start, or you can start if you want.
You can start.
Okay. So I grew up in the 90s. I was a kid, and there was a show on PBS called Ghostwriter. And it was about these kids, and they had like a ghost that they would talk to, but he could only write. So the show, I think, was designed to encourage kids to write and read. They would talk a lot about books too. Well, so I loved the show. I was fascinated with the idea that they were writing to this like secret ghost friend. And so my sister wanted to play a trick on me. So she writes a letter or like a note saying that she is ghostwriter or something. And she leaves it out for me to find, and I find it, and she like disguised her handwriting and everything trying to, but the thing is, I kind of knew that it was just my sister playing a trick on me, but I was a kid and I wanted so much for it to be true because I would always read or watch all these things where these exciting, mysterious things would happen to kids and they'd go on these adventures, and I wanted so bad for something like that to happen to me. I wanted so bad to think there was this mysterious, cool, secret thing that was going to happen. And so I remember thinking, even though I knew it was a trick, I'm like, well, maybe, I'm deluding myself into thinking maybe it's real. So I write back so I leave a note saying something like, wow, ghostwriter, like, it's so cool you wrote to me. And it's like very cringy. And so I leave it where the note tells me to leave it. And then of course the next day my sister's laughing at me, and she's like, I can't believe you fell for that. And I felt so stupid, but unfortunately it wasn't any public thing. I mean, it was just between me and my sister. It wasn't anything that embarrassed me publicly, but it was pretty embarrassing and cringy. And that's my only reason for it happening, was just because I wanted so badly to believe that something mysterious could happen to me. So that's pretty much a dumb thing I did. I'm sure there's a lot more, but that's all I could think of at the moment. And so I don't know. I'm pretty sure, Brad, that you've never done anything dumb.
I have done so many dumb things that I'm blanking on anything because every day I think I did something dumb when I was a kid. I mean, one of the things like standout memories, I guess, was when I ran away from home when I was like 5. I don't know. It was pretty.
Did you pack anything?
It's a very vague memory that's very blurry, so I don't really remember. Yes, that's what I remember. That was dumb. Is like I packed like just random toys, like nothing for survival, nothing.
You don't
at all.
need food or clothes or
Like,
weather material.
All my like material possessions I thought I owned, and just like stupid stuff. Like I do remember like packing a one of the what do you call? I'm like blanking on the little viewfinder. I remember packing that for some reason. I was thinking that, like, why would I pack that? And like just like random things I had, the games or something like that, like a little stupid odds and ends. And then I remember walking out with this bag of stuff, and I remember my parents just kind of like, all right, I'll see ya. I'm never coming back, I said as I walked back. They out.
Do that because they know that you're gonna, like, they're not worried.
No, yeah,
gonna come back. They know what you'll do is you'll walk around the block and you'll come right back.
Yeah, I think I only made it like 5. I made it to like the sidewalk, and I'm like, this is stupid. So I can't turn around and came right home.
Do you remember why you ran away?
No, I was mad about
that you didn't get
something
pizza for lunch.
It was something. It was something random.
Yeah.
Maybe I had to go to bed early or something. I don't know. It was something. Some reason I was mad. So, but
you jogged a memory. I remember running away too. I packed I packed very similarly to how you packed. I think I packed I had this clown doll. I packed him. I packed, just like random toy, like my troll dolls from my room.
Yeah.
No food, no water, no raincoat, no tent, anything. Just toys.
Just what you think's important, and none of it's important. You can't survive on any of that. But yeah, so that was something. I did a lot of dumb things. So I mean, I have a huge list of dumb things I did.
Well, I don't mean to brag, but our child has never done anything dumb.
Oh, really?
In all of his 3 weeks of life, he hasn't
done anything dumb yet. Yeah, you're right.
But he's only had 3 weeks to do anything. So
3.5 now.
3.5, yeah,
3.5.
crazy.
He's getting close to that month.
Well, we are going to have a part 2 apparently, but I don't know what the questions are yet. So stay tuned, and we will find out what our questions are next time.
That's great. But say goodbye, Charlie.
Bye.
Bye.